Okay, then we don't.
Yeah.
Keep chatting. Oh,
No, I can't.
talk about.
Well, hello, Gresham. Welcome to our monthly Facebook Live with. Wait, where's the mayor? Oh no, he's out of town. So today you're stuck with me, Nina Vetter, your city manager. But fortunately, I have two wonderful guests with me today who are going to help us have a great conversation, a lot about what's happening with safety, Safe Gresham, and youth services here at the city. And of course, we're always here to answer any questions that you might have. So please feel free to type in your questions, and our lovely comms people will interrupt us, and we'll make sure that we get those questions answered today. So first things first, I want to introduce my two lovely guests. Chief, I'll let you talk a little bit about yourself.
Great,
first.
thank you. Appreciate that. So, Chief Travis Goldberg with your Gresham Police Department. I've been your chief since August of last year. Previously, I came from the Sheriff's Office, where I worked 23 years. That's the Multnomah County Sheriff's Office. I've been in law enforcement for over 26 years, and really excited to be here. When the opportunity came for me to apply for the chief's job, I couldn't have been any more excited and proud about the opportunity to serve my community. As you know, we've talked about this before. I'm actually born and raised in Gresham, went to Centennial High School, and so Mount Hood Community College. So just thrilled to be here, and what I can tell you are the people are wonderful. They're truly mission driven and really all about making Gresham safer, which I'm excited about, and really serving Gresham the best way. So, and I'm really excited about meeting Iman, who's just really new to us, but we're going to get a chance to work together.
Oh, absolutely. Well, thank you very much, Chief. Thank you, Nina. So that is me. I am Iman. I am the new Youth Service Manager here for the City of Gresham. Previously, I came from IRCO, which is the Immigrant Refugee Community Organization. I spent about 3.5 years there serving the community and helping between Gresham and Portland. I grew up here in the Portland area. It's got my master's degree in Peace and Conflict Studies, and I got my undergrad here at PSU, so definitely here, happy to serve the community and be in the public sector and learn from everybody else. So thank you so much for this.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's been nice to have both of you join the team since I've started. I always like to say I'm still new, even though I've been here about 8 months, 9 months.
I keep getting told you don't get to say that anymore.
What?
And I don't even get to say that
Oh,
anymore.
I get to say it. I've only been here 4 weeks.
You're the
That's
newest.
it.
You
Yeah.
get to say that. That's fair. So I'm sure people are wondering probably a little bit more about our Safe Gresham initiative, which we launched a few months ago. We've been talking about it a little bit. But Chief, if you could get us kicked off, what is the Safe Gresham initiative, and why is the city taking this approach?
Well, I think, really, you could talk in great detail about all the different things we're doing, but really what it means to me is we're really focusing on community safety. And you see our neighboring communities, what we're experiencing, and even in our community around violence, the uptick in violence, unfortunately, and really about gun violence. We've really recognized that we had to take a different approach to our response to violence and how we police our community, but at the same time really work on intervention, prevention, and collaboration. And so the Safe Gresham initiative to me really is an opportunity for the city to focus on the crime and reducing violence, but at the same time work collaboratively with our other departments, other divisions like youth services. That's why I'm excited about the opportunity to work with Iman about how do we address violence in the early stages and maybe even prevent it and not get to a point where we're experiencing so much violence in our community. So really that's what it's about to me. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of different things that we're doing, but it's the opportunity to work together on making our community safe, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. Another great aspect of Safe Gresham is working with the community partners, right? And so that's sort of like what we're doing over here on the youth services side is just working out with these community partners where normally they were giving services that would be going towards Portland, and now we're bringing it over here to Gresham, where it's definitely been needed for quite a bit of time. So we're glad that we're able to make this kind of happen.
Nina, I talk about this when I go out and talk to the community. My experience, and we don't get to say we're new anymore, but my experience, my history here is East County is definitely underserved and underrepresented in many ways, and we've experienced that. And I know our leaders, our local leaders, our politicians, really have tried to address that over the years, but to Iman's point, you can tell that unfortunately we just don't get that servicing out here like we need to. And so this is an opportunity for us, in my mind, with the Gresham Initiative, is to follow the lead of other jurisdictions, other areas around us, but to say, hey, we need to focus on Gresham. So I'm really, that's, to your point, I'm really excited about the opportunity to work together on this stuff.
Oh, absolutely. You know, talking about that collaboration part, you know, I'm big about collaborating, and so, you know, as I was reading about that, to work with PD, to work with other departments here in the city, and to make sure that we're not double dipping, and make sure that the youth are at least on our end, they're getting the services and that they desperately need.
Yeah, and really, I think, you know, correct me if I'm wrong, but you know, in terms of prevention, we need to get to the youth early on. Education is very important, but if we have an opportunity to intercede those junctions where they might go down a path we don't want them to do, that's where we can work together collaboratively and work and reinforce, you know, force multiplier, we call it, our efforts about getting to them early and getting them in the right direction and providing them all the services that help keep them from a lifestyle that might lead down the path that we don't want them to.
Absolutely, Chief. I've been speaking with the different schools, and especially the elementary schools, and they're definitely open to having an early intervention program to make sure that, you know, we start young, you know, start at an early age with these kiddos, that, you know, as they grow older, they're able to express their anger, in a sense, in a more positive way.
Yeah.
So important.
Yes.
And while Safe Gresham is absolutely a holistic, comprehensive, collaborative approach, we certainly get a lot of questions about police specifically and what's going on with police. And so some of the questions we get are, you know, how are we recruiting right now? What are we hiring for? You know, where are we at with some of the, I know you have a lot of work going on with your great team in terms of recruiting and trying to prioritize your resources. So if you could just talk a little bit about what are we doing in police specifically.
Yeah, so I'll start with, I want to make it very clear that we are getting a lot of support from our leadership team, such as yourself, and that's appreciated, our electeds, our mayor, and we understand that, you know, not only our community, but really communities across the nation are suffering from the same experience, in that certain crimes are on the rise. We're experiencing violence like we haven't in years, but at the same time we're experiencing staffing shortages. And also I want to be very clear that it's not just our industry. A lot of industries, as you know, are struggling with getting people back to work in many ways. But we are focused on that, and from your guys' support, we're doing a lot around really kind of revamping or maybe enhancing our approach to recruitment strategies. So, you know, we're being competitive in the market. We're offering sign-on bonuses. We're even offering a bonus for those that refer people to us. You can get $1,000 if you refer somebody to us and they make it past probation. So we're really excited about that opportunity, because that also signifies is our approach about wanting to represent the whole community. So that $1,000 can go to an individual, it can go to a community group, it can go to a charitable group. And so really we're out there, we need, you know, good people. We need people to come into our community and serve. There's lots of opportunity. We're hiring for police officers. We're hiring for professional support staff. So what I would always recommend is go to the city website, look up our job opportunities, and we're going to be open and continuous until we get filled. But you know, it's really about the focus on recruiting and hiring and being more efficient in those processes, and then ways in which we can connect with everybody in the community, because we truly want to represent the whole community. And I know, again, that we're not the only industry facing that our city needs lots of employees, right?
It's very true. Yes, we do. And I'm really grateful just to pass along the gratefulness for leadership support that our city council supported the use of American Rescue Plan Act funds to go to these initiatives that you're speaking about, because without those additional funds, we wouldn't be able to do these recruitment efforts that we're doing today.
Yes,
so thankful to city council for their support.
Absolutely.
And you touched on, you know, getting more people in the door generally in the city, which I know is something that we're working on. And again, why we're so excited to have a youth services manager. There's probably some opportunities for, you know, internship programs. We used to have pathways to employment. So if you want to talk a little bit about your vision and opportunities that you might see for us to get youth engaged in the city.
Absolutely. So we are, as I'm kind of getting, you know, my feet wet and getting used to what's going on here in the city, I've been going out into the community, right, talking to different small businesses, and you know, after when the kiddos came back from spring break, went into elementary schools, middle schools, high schools, and just speaking with the principals, the counselors, and the career center. And I'm really just trying to paint this picture of what do our youth have now, and what can we give them going forward, right? So exactly what you spoke about different like career opportunities. So this summer that's coming up here, there's a program called SummerWorks that is held by the county called Work Systems.
Yeah.
And so what they do is they get paid internships to our youth, 16 to 24 years old. They have to fulfill 160 hours, and they get paid $15 an hour. So if there are youth who are interested, and working in City Hall, and we have like 5 different departments here within the city that are interested and looking for youth. So we definitely want to be able to get that going on. I'm speaking with, like I said, speaking with the schools, and their big need for life skills. And one of the big life skills need right now is financial literacy. So I spoke with local credit unions, and they're set to go to do curriculum on for the youth. So if they have a curriculum that's designed for elementary level, middle school level, high school, anything. And so we'll even set them up to have the whole family involved as well. We can do that by appointment. They can even go to the schools. So there's a big need for cover letter writing, mock interviewing, resume writing. So we're working with our partners to make sure that they have that availability and have that space, especially with summer and all these apprenticeship opportunities that's available through the city. So we're trying to make that available. We have our youth violence prevention program. That's our biggest part of it, and that's where we have our multiple community-based organizations that are coming over here. And what we do is they are really the fun part's beginning for them, right? They've signed the contract, and now is when they get to come into the city and be into the schools and do their street level outreach and do really the fun work, right? And just get a good feel for it. And that's why we're trying to help them on this side over here to kind of paint that picture of like what areas that they should focus on and all that good things. And so and in the immediate time here, we have late night basketball.
Exciting.
Yeah, it'll be at HB Lee Middle School, so it'll be for middle and high schoolers. So it'll be a place for them to go on Friday evenings, just as an outlet for sports, because there is a big need for that. And through the city, one day after the first day of summer, on June 16th at Pat Pfizer Park, from 1 to 3:30, we will have a free baseball clinic for our youth. They just have to show up. They don't need to bring anything. They just need to bring themselves. There will be gear available. I talked to the Portland Pickles, and they're bringing Dylan the mascot over. So so it's gonna be a nice fun time for the kiddos, and big things are coming. And you can definitely check out our website, GreshamOregon.gov, and you'll be able to see a lot of great activities on there.
Well, Nina, I can tell you, I'm super excited. About an opportunity to play basketball.
Yeah, let's go.
Right? You don't want to see me play basketball, that's for sure.
I was good back in the day.
Now you're qualifying? All right,
Now,
all
but
right.
but I think the whole department's excited about this because we've had opportunity to do this in the past, and it's been away for a while. And we're excited about it coming back, and it really gives us an opportunity to connect with the youth in our community. The other thing I'm excited about for our department, we've made a commitment to be a part of that Summer Works or intern program. So Iman and I have talked before about this, and we're one thing I believe in is developing youth and having an opportunity. I think we can all say we probably had that sometime in our life, and that's why we're where we're at today. So we're committed to that as well. Thank you for those opportunities and for your work of bringing that back to us in many ways. So.
For sure, and it really does feel good to have some of these programs that we had prior to the pandemic, right? Like the basketball late night one, that was something that we had going on here at the city prior, so that's great to have that going on. SummerWorks, they had it last year, but I think it was only facilities. It was only one department, one intern was here, so I think right now we're at 12 or 14 positions are available here during the summer, and that'll be from beginning of July to beginning of September. So that'll be a great opportunity. They can just go on SummerWorks' website, apply, and then we'll be able to have everything kind of matched up to get them over here.
So here's my recruiting pitch, right? Because we often think about all the difficult things that you have to do when you're a police officer, but there's opportunity for fun too.
Right.
So come and join us, and we can go play basketball, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Take the kids on. We probably wouldn't win, but we can at least take the kids on.
Hey, one of my fondest memories when I was younger was when I got to play basketball against the police department.
Yeah.
And it was a wonderful experience.
Yeah,
and
we talked about that before. Yeah.
And I hope our youth will be able to gain that same experience here.
Yeah.
Fabulous.
No?
Love the teamwork. This is great. Did we have a question that came in? Sarah?
This one didn't come through, but I was hoping that maybe the chief and Iman could speak a little bit about the community meetings that happen every other Friday, because I think that's a really unique collaboration that most people don't realize is taking place.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So one of the great things under Safe Gresham
Yeah.
was the development of the Youth Violence Prevention Program.
Yes.
And having that program implemented, they were able to hire a Youth Violence Prevention Coordinator. And that was Marcel Frazier. So Marcel, he's a local boy, and he's bringing a great experience to the community. And so what Marcel's really big role is to talk with the community-based organizations. And every 2 weeks, right now our meeting spot is at the Rockwood Police Station. Yeah. And we go in there, we kind of collaborate, we kind of put our heads together, we see how really we notice any trends, if any way we could strategize, just ways that we kind of work with each other, things that really they haven't had in the past, right? So now we want to make this on a regular basis where we meet every 2 weeks and just to see what we can do to help each other, right? And because we're all here for the same common goal, right?
Yes.
Is to reduce violence,
Yes.
and to increase fun for not only for the adults but for the youth. We want youth to feel youthful, right? And to be a youth and to enjoy that. So.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think the other piece about that too is about the whole thriving community thing. And the more that we tackle these issues up front and work on that preventative work, then the whole community really thrives. So that's what I get excited about. And so exciting for us is we've actually assigned a lieutenant to this, Lieutenant Jeff Miller, and doing our community engagement, really focusing all of our efforts. Sometimes we do it in the broad sense, many opportunities throughout the work we do, but sometimes you really don't focus your efforts. So the opportunity about the collaboration is we can communicate directly and figure out what are the best ways to achieve our goals, right? And so that's really what I'm excied about, these meetings that are happening every week.
And then also from these meetings that we do, we look for emerging organizations. So we do bring like the bigger organizations there who are historically been in the area, but we also look for local organizations who are looking to make a name for themselves, right?
Yeah.
So this is a great spot for them because of all these organizations who are there, for them to come by, visit, and to be able to make their pitch, right? And just to say, how can we get you to the table? How can we open doors for you? Because like I said, we're about collaboration, right? That part of that Safe Gresham. So that's a great part of it, and we're really excited just to be working with the police department and with Lieutenant Miller and the different organizations, and to see what positive impact we can make here in the city.
Absolutely. And I think
great.
this is a great example of where we're trying to go as a city organization. Is traditionally city government is been siloed in their approach, and we all operate on our own lanes, and that's the way government used to work.
Yeah.
And that's certainly not what our community expects today. And it certainly doesn't work today anymore. We need to do better at working together, whether you're in the police department or in youth services.
Yeah.
And then we need to actually partner with our community-based organizations, our neighborhood associations, all the great resources that we have in this community. Because like you said, at the end of the day, we all have that same goal. We're trying to work towards a thriving, safe, thriving community, and it takes all these pieces and parts, right? Police, youth services, and the many other departments we have here at the city to make a strong community. And so I love this example of the collaboration that's happening with Safe Gresham and this new approach that we're taking that is far less siloed and really is working with the community, not working at the community.
Yeah, right. That's so true. Yeah, thank you for that. Those are great words. And there's so much to do, but so much opportunity and so much to be positive about, optimistic about. And I would again encourage everyone to reach out to us, and you can do that through the websites or making a phone call. But there are so many opportunities to either volunteer for the city or come work. We got lots of job opportunities.
Absolutely.
I'd make another pitch. We have the citizen volunteers in police services. So if you're interested in that, we also have the cadet program. So that's another opportunity for youth to get connected. A very successful cadet program that by the way is recognized in our region as winning a lot of awards, and many of those individuals go on to great careers, and some of them in police work. And so it's again another opportunity to reach the youth, but just so many ways. And of course we're looking for police officers, so come on down, because I say I will tell you why you belong here, and that I will take you to lunch. So and tell you what we have to offer and why you need to be a part of our city that's serving our community so well.
Yeah, Absolutely. It's terrific. Well, certainly, I'm glad we got to spend some time today on Safe Gresham and both police and youth services. Also wanted to take a minute to touch on some timely topics like budget, because believe it or not, it's budget season. So what questions did we get?
Is it not so fun topics?
Oh, it's a fun topic. What
Okay, well, we have
questions
we have a lot going on, as you know,
Yeah.
a lot that we really want to achieve. So my question is how's the budget impacting it?
Yeah.
How are we looking, and we also have the Imagine Gresham thing, which is very exciting about, and there's ways in which the community can provide input in that, right? So how is that all looking for us?
Well, good question.
Yes.
You got 2 hours? No, just kidding. Just kidding. So I think you touched on a few things that I know, we've touched on in some of these before, is that the city is developing a strategic plan, which sets a great vision for our community. And in partnership with that, we're developing our long-term plan so that we have the resources to serve the community to the best of our ability, because all of our departments really are under-resourced for the services they're trying to provide. In the short term, what we're dealing with today is next year's proposed budget, which is being finalized as we speak. We welcome you to tune in to our budget committee meeting on April 21st at 6 p.m. Thank you, Sarah. Make sure I got that right. And what we're going to focus on in this budget cycle, is doing what we can with what we have. Because the reality is, as we shared before, we don't have a lot of funds. We don't have a lot of resources. And so while we're working on this long-term financial plan, our goal for next year is to basically balance the budget and try to add a few positions in the organization that are really critical and urgent, because that's truly what we can fund right now. We don't have the resources to fund everything we want or everything every department needs. So we're really going to focus on what is the critical, urgent staffing needs or other resources that we need immediately while we work on that long-term financial plan. So that's our main priority. And then also, as we touched on earlier, we have the American Rescue Plan Act funds, which is one-time money, can be spent over multiple years though, and is fairly flexible. So making sure that we're leveraging that like we already have for some public safety investments that we would not have been able to make without the use of those funds. We're so thankful to the federal government for that resource. We're able to invest in police and in fire as well. So we're going to continue to evaluate those funds. We'll have a second round of funds coming this fall. So that's an opportunity for us to think strategically about how we use those funds as well. So that's a little bit about where we are today financially. And again, tune in later this month if you want to hear more about next year's budget and what we're looking at to really fill the gap until we get that long-term financial plan in place. We have a question.
Good.
Ooh.
Here we go.
What do my property taxes pay for?
Well, you're looking at 2 of them. I mean 3 technically. No, but that's a good question. So what do your property taxes pay for? Your property taxes go into our general fund. So we have different funds as a city government. For example, some resources like specific fees can only be used for certain activities, but the general fund is where we can use the funds really as we see fit to serve the community to the best of our ability. So property taxes go into our general fund. The general fund funds most of our services as a city organization. Most of the general fund is spent on things like public safety, which is probably not very surprising, but it really does fund a majority of our services. We have about 600 employees at the city who do everything from, police, fire, youth services, economic development, water, sewer, stormwater. Also, all of our internal services that support these really important teams. Police, you couldn't do what your team does if you didn't have the vehicles, technology, the processes that HR has. So there's a lot of internal staff, our comms people who are here today making this happen. So we wouldn't be able to provide these external services if we didn't have all these internal people supporting us. So that's a big piece of the puzzle as well. So in summary, your property taxes go to a lot of fabulous services. We are a service organization. Most of our costs are our personnel. Right? Our people are the backbone of our organization. They're the ones doing the hard work day in and day out to serve this community. They do a fabulous job with what they have. We have a phenomenal team here at Gresham. It's amazing. It's been amazing to step into a team that's so great and supportive and works incredibly hard. And that's also why we need more resources,
Yeah.
because we don't want to burn out our employees.
Yeah.
They work so much. So we're really hoping we can get that long-term plan in place so that we can get the staffing we need to continue to build and support that awesome team.
Yeah.
Good question. Not that much.
Do you have another one?
Do you have any more questions, Sarah?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
Okay.
Well, our other hot topics Iman has with us today of what people are talking about.
Yeah, is urban renewal.
Ooh,
Yeah.
urban renewal.
Yeah. So, Nina, what is urban renewal?
Yeah, let's
Let us
do
know.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also if you haven't checked out the window outside,
I think it's snowing
recently,
outside.
It's dumping snow currently. So that's breaking news.
Yeah, breaking news.
Breaking news.
And our very important roads department is going to be out there taking
Yes.
care of it.
Appreciate your
We
hard work.
appreciate
So we
it.
do what we do. They've been busy yesterday,
Yes.
and they're going to be. It looks like they're going to be busy again today.
Yeah, we actually had a lot of, before I do urban renewal, we had a lot of roads, our parks.
Yes.
We had stormwater,
Oh,
and we had
yeah.
a lot of people deployed yesterday, not just for the roads, but also because of all the trees that were down. We had the fire department helping, with traffic control, and I'm sure police was too. So what a great amount of teamwork went into all the things that happened yesterday. Oh, but we do have another question.
Oh.
With the increase in crime in the city and with the resources currently available, what can be done to move funds around to hire more police to be on patrol and around the clock?
Well, you want me to answer this?
Yeah, you go
Okay.
for it.
First of all, we haven't. I want to be very clear because this has come up in several conversations and when I meet with community groups. So we are not being asked to make any cuts, and we haven't been asked to make any cuts in this current budget cycle and then the next budget cycle. It's really about our efficiency and ability to get people recruited, hired, and onboarded as quickly as possible. So again, going back to that message about recruiting, we need officers. We need people, good people that want to come into our city and do good things for our city. And so that's really what we're focused on right now. I'm not so worried about moving funds along and whether or not we're working on the long-term plans as Nina talked about. Right now, we just need to get back up to staffing. So, I don't want to say we're understaffed in many ways. I don't want to give out the exact number, but what we're doing internally is through this Safe Gresham initiative and our work with our command staff is really to focus our efforts on where can we make the most impact, how can we prevent crime, how can we better respond to crime. As you guys all know, we're going through an assessment, the current ongoing assessment about our toll operations and how we can be more efficient and effective. That's going to give us a lot of information about how we can be better at our job. But really right now, it is about recruiting and getting people hired. We need you. Again, I'll take you to lunch. Come on down. Let's have a conversation. And let me tell you why you belong here. But I don't, do you agree? It's not really about the funds right now. Long-term planning, sure. We got to have a lot of discussion about that. Because as Nina said, and we're looking out the window, our roads department's going to be busy. And what about urban renewal?
I know. We'll get
We
there in
didn't
a
get
minute.
there.
We haven't gotten there
We didn't
yet.
get to that exciting topic. I was like looking forward to it. But I'm like, what is it? Come on.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. Long term, every department needs more
Yes.
funding. Right now, what you're facing is just trying to staff up to your current budgeted allowed FTE counts, basically.
Yep.
And also, like we mentioned earlier, council did approve about $3 million in addition that has recently gone to public safety through the ARPA fund. So
Yes.
there actually has been additional funding in the last few months that's been added to public safety. The challenge is recruiting, and it's not just in police,
Yeah.
it's also in fire as well. Public safety is an increasingly challenging and complex world to be a part of. And so recruiting in both of those just to keep us up to like our budgeted staffing level, right?
Yeah.
That's the current challenge we're facing. So please tell your friends and family
Yeah.
that we're hiring for
Yeah.
police and fire. We'd
Yeah.
love to have you. But also stay tuned for those long-term financial conversations, because certainly we know every department
Yes.
really needs more funding long-term to be successful.
Yeah. So now urban.
So now we can talk about urban renewal. What I can touch on are the facts of urban renewal today, because there is something on the ballot this May. So I want to make sure I just talk about facts today. So you may be familiar, maybe not, with our urban renewal district, which is in the Rockwood area. And our urban renewal district is one specific geographic area where basically the increment of the tax revenue that would otherwise go to entities that tax in the area, which includes the city, but not just us, would go to us goes back into that specific geographic area to make improvements for the community. It's a really popular tool, not just used in Oregon, but used across the country to try to stimulate investment and then stimulate reinvestment in specific geographic areas. So that's kind of a Urban Renewal 101. But what is on the ballot in May is an extension, timeline-wise, of the current urban renewal, because otherwise it will expire. And so there wouldn't be any further urban renewal benefits if it's not extended. So that is the ask in May, is to extend the timeline of the urban renewal district.
So, and some of those improvements can be anywhere from parks to sidewalks to other things. And when we talk about, public safety, obviously police and fire are very important. So is emergency management for major incidences. But street lights, enhanced visibility, working on sidewalks so that people can have ADA access. Parks are important too. That's all part of renewal as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Really anything that provides that community benefit. So that could be, crosswalks, sidewalks, lighting, parks. Those are all things that are really can be qualified for the use of urban renewal. But I'm glad you brought up that topic, just generally speaking, because that is something we hear about is, sometimes when we think about safety, we think about it in a very specific lens, right? Like it means a police officer, it means a firefighter, it means, and the reality is the infrastructure combined with the services we provide as a whole as a city is what creates a safe community. So it's all of those things put together. And that's why it's so crucial that when we're developing this long-term financial plan, it's not just how do we fund more of police. It's not just how do we fund more of youth services. It's how do we fund all the things that contribute to this thriving and safe community. Because the reality is all of those things matter and create that community that we all want to see. So just want to reiterate that. And we have had a great time today. So we're going to wrap it up. Thank you so much to Iman.
I kind of wanted to stay.
Yeah.
I don't have to walk across the street with that snow.
This lovely snow.
I can't believe this. But
You're welcome. I brought Colorado with me to Oregon apparently in April. So thank you so much for joining. I want to make sure that a few last minute things. The Lilac Run, let's hope it's not snowing, will take place on May 7th. Registration closes on April 29th, so please sign up. Look forward to racing both of you that day. Just kidding. But please visit our website if you're looking for any more information from today. We have a whole website dedicated to Safe Gresham, so if you want to learn more about that important initiative, please check out our website. Please tune in next month. Thank goodness, Mayor will be back, so you don't have to deal with me next month. But thank you so much for tuning in, for your great questions, and we hope you all stay safe and healthy. Thank you very much.
Appreciate y'all.
Yes. Bye.